It all started with a missing persons case that me and Nick had gotten at the detective agency back in Diamond City. We headed over to the client's house in the farthest reaches north of the
I know you're
Commonwealth.
listening on the other end. Where is she? Where is my daughter?
Kenji, please. You've been at this for hours.
The husband was clearly distressed over the disappearance of his daughter when we arrived there. And so me and Nick immediately set to work like the good detectives we are. Apparently, the husband was also an old friend of Nick Valentine, so we couldn't refuse his pleas for help.
I hope you don't mind. We let ourselves in.
Nick, thank God. You need to get to work right away. She could be hurt. She could be...
Whoa, slow down. Kenji, was it? Why did you go over the details with me and my partner here?
You brought a partner? Good. The more eyes, the better.
So, what's the story with you and Nick?
Nick didn't tell you? Ran with him on one of his cases a few years back, searching for some sort of lost heirloom. He needed a boat. Things didn't end well. We were double-crossed by the client once we had what he was looking for. I still have some lead lodged into my hip.
Right. Yeah, it's starting to come back to me. Sorry things ended sour.
We got out. That's all that mattered. And now you can return the favor by finding my daughter.
We're here to help. Tell us what happened.
It's all thanks to this damn radio.
Our daughter Kasumi likes to fix things. The radio was her latest project.
Until she made contact with some kidnapper who lured her away from us.
Or maybe she left on her own. She's not a child anymore. Our daughter is 19. She knows how to survive, and she's capable. I think maybe she left because she wanted her own life.
No. She would have told us where she was going. She would have said something. I know my daughter is in danger. I can feel it. Find her, please.
Do you have any idea where she could have gone?
We know she took one of the boats, but that's all. She could be anywhere.
Don't you worry.
Thank you. Her room is upstairs if that helps. And if you had any more questions about her, just ask.
Don't worry, Kenji. We'll get to the bottom of this. Just sit tight.
I started off by interrogating the father.
Your wife says she left on her own, but you said it was kidnappers.
I know it was kidnappers. Kasumi is a smart girl, but she doesn't know how horrible people can be. Not like me and Ray. Why would she just leave her family with no explanation? Someone tricked her. Got her to leave the safety of home. Every minute we aren't looking for my daughter, her life is in jeopardy.
Tell me more about this radio she was fixing.
I've tried to get that damn thing to work over and over again, but there's nothing. I thought she just wanted to strip it for parts or build a toaster out of it, or something, like she usually does. Someone made contact with her, and then they took her. God, what kind of twisted psychopath has my daughter?
Anything more you can tell me about Kasumi? The smallest detail could be important.
I don't know what more to say. She's my little girl, and she doesn't know how dangerous this world is. I never should have let her grandfather teach her how to fix these machines.
Her grandfather?
Her grandfather? He taught her how to fix the radio?
Ever since she was old enough to walk, yes. Her grandfather had an ear for machines. Kasumi picked up the knack. He passed away recently. He used to scavenge the ruins in the south for parts. I kept telling him he was getting too old.
That's it for right now.
Work quickly, detective.
Now, on to the wife.
You and your husband don't seem to agree about why your daughter left.
We both want to find her. The world out there isn't a place where you want to be alone. But Kenji still sees her swaddled in diapers. He doesn't see a young woman with her own decisions to make. Maybe because it's more frightening. She wasn't tricked into leaving without telling us. That was her choice. She didn't want us to follow. Why?
Tell me more about this radio your daughter was working on.
I remember Kasumi was very excited about it. I figured she was secretly trying to make contact with Diamond City or another settlement. We're pretty isolated out here. She only has us for company, and Kenji can be overprotective.
I'd like to know more about Kasumi. might shine a light on where she's gone.
My daughter is strong, focused, careful. That's how I know she's still alive. But why would she leave without telling us? Maybe we... No, never mind. I don't want to waste your time.
Every detail is important, Mrs. Nakano. Don't hold back.
It's just that we've been fighting a lot more. All of us. Ever since Kasumi's grandfather passed away. He was the only one that could really talk to her. Kenji and I don't understand machines, but those two could work together for hours. She started staying in her grandfather's boathouse late into the night. I thought she was just trying to cope with the loss, but now I wonder what she was up to.
Nothing else right now.
Nick and I then went upstairs to Kasumi's room to look for evidence.
Project log? Radio. Correction. Working radio. I'll finally get some news outside this house. My handle is going to be... let's go with... Ohm's Law. That should confuse the creeps. And if someone actually gets the reference, then we'll at least have circuitry in common.
Smart girl.
Project log, dreams. Recording what I can remember when I wake up. I keep having the same one. I'm in a white room. People are talking about me like I'm not there, or maybe they just don't care. And then there's this, I don't know, jolt, like a spark of electricity to the back of my head, and then everyone turns to look at me. God, I hope I don't have it again tonight.
Interesting dream. Smart girl who's having interesting dreams. And the final piece of evidence. Her journal. Radio project update. Boosting the bandwidth coverage into Granddad's boathouse.
So Kasumi was spending time in her grandfather's old boathouse? Huh. Sounds like we know where we're heading next.
Sounds like a plan, Valentine. We headed over to the old boathouse, looking for any more clues, and that's when we found the safe, and her granddad's note. Oh, with a clue to where the key is. Picture where the key is. Now, I could have easily opened the lock with my lock-picking skills, but I decided to humor myself. And take up the clue. That's what a good detective does, after all. And sure enough, there it was. Hidden away inside an old picture frame. Easy hint. Now then, let's see what's in here. What are you hiding, Kasumi?
Project log? Myself. I never really thought about who or what I am, but... God. Where do I start? The radio. I was right about the range. I managed to get a signal, a strong signal, from up north. There's a group of people up there. They say they're all synthetic people, made by the Institute. They're trying to build a place for their kind, where they can be themselves and be accepted for what they are alongside human beings. It sounds wonderful, but then they started asking about me, and some questions came up. Questions I don't have answers to. I mean, I've always felt off, like I'm not really supposed to be here, but then there are things in my childhood I can't remember, and I've been having strange dreams. I'm going to go. To meet these synths, I have to know the truth about myself. They've told me to sail up north to a town called Far Harbor. I can make my way to them from there.
So the daughter takes off by boat. But more importantly, there's a colony of synths up near this Far Harbor. We need a way to get there. Let's go talk to Kenji. He knows the waters better than anyone.
A young girl who thinks she's a simp, huh?
Did
I need to ask you an important question. Are you sure your daughter is human?
What kind of question is that? Why are you asking?
Your daughter seems to think she is a synth.
Your daughter made contact with a group of synths. She thinks she's one of them.
What? That's crazy.
She's not a synth. She's our daughter. We raised her. I gave birth to her. She's flesh and blood, not a synthetic.
Synth people can be replaced by synths easily.
Are you sure she's human, Mrs. Nakano?
Yes, I know my daughter, and she hasn't changed. She's not some replacement.
This is what I was afraid of. Someone twisting my daughter's mind. Did you find where Kasumi went, Detective?
I did. How far you traveled north, though?
Somewhere up north. Do you know what's up there?
Where specifically? I've been up the coast, almost to where the waters start to freeze. But that's a lot of miles.
To a place called
I think I
Far
know where
Harbor.
Kasumi went. A place called Far Harbor?
She went that far up north? God, that explains why she took the boat. You have to go after her. Please, take my other ship on the dock outside. My father's design. It has a guidance system, and it is built for distance.
You know what's out there that we should look for? Anything? Missing girl, Far Harbor finds a lost colony of synths.
I only made the trip to Far Harbor once, when I was a boy. All I remember is that my father did not want to stay long. Something about the air being bad.
Sounds like a very dangerous place to be.
I'll get to the bottom of this, Kenji.
Thank you. I know you haven't asked for a payment, and we can't offer more.
I know it'll be hard waiting for word, but try to carry on like normal. We'll be back as soon as we can.
Find Kasumi. Please.
This sounds like it's going to be a very long trip ahead of us. I best go and prepare. But first things first, I need to make a pit stop and contact some old friends who might know more about this colony of synths. If there's anyone who knows about it, it's the railroad.
You're the professor, yeah? I've been looking for you. Name's Boxer. Boss called me in on account of some rumors making their way through the Commonwealth. There's word that there's some kind of colony of synths way up the coast, all on their own. You heard anything like that?
Do you know anyone named Kasumi Nakano?
There's a girl named Kasumi Nakano. She
Nakano.
disappeared up north. Sounds like she heard the same stories and thinks she's a synth.
The name doesn't ring a bell. If she is a synth, doesn't sound like we ever helped her. But I guess those stories really are getting around, huh? I'm gonna keep my ear to the ground. You do.
I see. It's as I feared. Looks like my allies in the Commonwealth will be of no help. Reluctantly, I grabbed my things and returned to the house, to the Nakano homestead. And of course, making sure I grab my power armor. Something tells me I'm gonna need it where I'm going. The boat's, well, good thing, the boat's in remarkably good condition. His grandfather, Mr. Nakano's his father, must have been quite the mechanic. So, here I am on a missing persons case, tracking ace that has become a wild goose chase. He's to a colony of synths far up north, or beyond the Commonwealth, in a little place called Far Harbor. What will we see there? What will happen? Will we find Kasumi alive or dead? No one knows for sure.